of there. So I know it's not the end of the month, and I also haven't done a favorites video in a long time, so why would you even expect me to do one if it was the end of the month anyway? But I thought I would catch you up on some of the current things that I've been enjoying, because I like things.
I like my rooms. I like my whole house.
So the first is this Revlon Color Burst Matte Balm in Unapologetic. Every time I wear it, I get compliments and people are like, why are you so beautiful? And I'm like, I don't even care. Like, I'm not even sorry. I'm unapologetic. And it's really good. It's really long lasting and soft and matte, and it has a beautiful color. Getting a little carried away. The next is this Maybelline Dream Fresh BB Cream. Summer, it's sweaty. I don't put things on my face. If anything, I'll put on like mascara or whatever. Who cares? I'm actually wearing it right now for the first time in a while because it's not hot out. The sky knew that I wanted to go boating today and it decided to give me water from the sky instead of on the lake. Bofa. Breath of fresh air from Lush. You need one. You know when you're at the table and things are getting, people leave to get a, you know when you're like having a fight and they leave, they're like, I need some air. They're not going outside. They're going into a corner and they're doing this. I like to spray it on my face and wake myself up in the morning because, you know, as you can see, I'm awake. You know, put a little vodka in that one and I'll be more awake, you know. I don't know. I could not live my life without a breath of fresh. I just could not live my life without a brush. I just could not. I really want to get this joke. I just could not live my life without a breath of fresh air. Because we need oxygen to survive. And also this is really good. The last beauty product I want to go over is something very unconventional for me. If some of you don't know, I have a very irrational fear of lotion. My next favorite is actually a body butter. I'll explain. It's the Moringa body butter from the Body Shop. I guess the difference between a body butter and a lotion is body butter is it's thicker, like butter. I can tolerate this one. I enjoy putting it onto my skin because it absorbs really fast and it doesn't leave a greasy layer. It just leaves you feeling soft and you smell like whatever Moringa is. I think it's just like a shit bundle of flowers. Moving on to more random things, more intangible things, unless you get a hard copy of it. It's music. Lately I've been really loving Tycho. It's this electronic DJ and all the songs are instrumental and they're just really mellow background music that you'd hear at like a really hip spa in Cali. It's mindless. No offense, not saying that it's... Anyway, it's good. There's 2 TV shows I really want to talk about. The first is Hemlock Grove. The 2nd season just came out. Bill Skarsgård's lips. Bill Skarsgård's lips. Bill Skarsgård's lips. If I describe what it is, it'll sound so lame because it's about werewolves and vampires, but it's so much more than that. Bill Skarsgård's lips. It's produced by Eli Roth, who is like the modern horror and gore king. He actually favorited and retweeted my tweet the other day about it, so I'm still flying high on that. I don't know, it's just such a good show. It's very well executed and nothing is cheesy, even though it deals with some of the most cliche, overdone, overused themes, you know, like fantasy, werewolf, whatever. Obviously they're not real, but are they? Bill Skarsgård's lips. If you're into that, I would definitely check it out. It's on Netflix. It's a Netflix original series. They have the 1st season and the 2nd season because it goes like that. 1 and then 2 and then 3. And the next is kind of whatever, I'm owning up to it. I love Summer Break. At Summer Break? It's the YouTube reality show focusing on teenage kids in California. It's so good. It's so bad, but it's so good. These kids, they're not much younger than me, but I feel like I am an old woman watching this and I just don't understand what these kids are saying. But I just can't look away. It's like, you know, the theory of everybody loves a good train wreck when something terrible happens, like a car crash, and you're like, this is awful. Why am I still watching it? Every episode is either like 5 minutes or 15 minutes and you can just keep clicking through on the playlist. #WhitRay. I find myself becoming attached to these kids and I'm talking about them to my friends and I'm like acting like they're characters, and then I have to like stop myself and remind these are real people and they might see this, so you should probably stop talking about how you're obsessed with their lives. Now I want to talk about books. to talk about 3 books that I've read this week. And that's these ones. Okay. Alright, that's these. Basically, I'm obsessed with Gillian Flynn and I don't know what to do about it. I guess with the hype of Gone Girl, which I'm sure you've heard of, they re-released each book that she's written with similar covers, so they look like they're a series, but they're completely different books. They're all the same premise though, they're all murder mysteries of some sort with the inevitable big twist in the conclusion. I will summarize each of them individually, but first I want to talk about one big similarity that they had collectively as a whole that I noticed. Wait, so did you ever see the movie The Tourist? Johnny Depp and Angelina Jolie. I think it may have been a book before, or maybe there's just a book that's called The Tourist. Anyway, shitty movie, awful movie. There is a huge twist in this movie. But as you're sitting there watching this and you're hating your life and you're wishing you never spent money on this, but you did, so you have to stay to the end to find out what the twist is, you're thinking about the twist. And you're like, wouldn't it be funny if this shitty movie had that crazy, obvious, shitty ending? Like the twist was the most absurd, ridiculous thing, but it's so obvious, but it's the one thing that you're like, they wouldn't go there. Because that's what everyone's thinking. But it's just like so far-fetched. Oh my god, I'm thinking about it now. I remember I was sitting with my family and we looked over at each other. We're like, could you imagine if this is what actually happened? If all along, if you know the movie, you know what I'm talking about. And in the end, that's what it was. What you thought was going to happen, but you could not imagine they would ever do that, happened. And you walk out of the theater and you feel like someone took a huge shit on your face because you're like, seriously? That's like, I paid money for that? That's what these books are like. But in a really good way. Well, at least for me, as you're reading them and you're trying to figure out, because they're all murder mysteries, they're all who did it, what happened, and you're reading it and you're scrambling because they're page turners. These books are page turners. You know, obviously you come up with these theories as you're reading the book. In your head, you're like, it could be this, it could be this. Wouldn't it be funny if it was this? And when you get there and it's the wouldn't it be funny outcome, she's done it so well and so creatively and subtly that you're like, whoa, I did not see that coming at all. But really you did. You saw it coming all along. You saw it from the beginning because it was obvious. But Gillian Flynn, she intricately sewed these, I don't know, would you sew? It was like you forgot that you had thought it all along and she's just a mastermind and she tricked you. Did any of this make sense? I feel like I was just rambling. I kind of wrote things down, but one of the things was juicy underlined and exclamation point, so. Okay, now I have to talk about the books on their own. Let me just summarize them. So the book I'm gonna start with is Gone Girl, which is probably the most popular. It's the book that made me want to read all of her books, but I saved it for last, so it's the most fresh in my brain. I've just finished it this morning, actually. I was really interested in this because it's gonna be a movie soon, and it's directed by David Fincher, and it stars Ben Affleck. A lot of those people are individuals that I hold in high regard. David Fincher and Fight Club and Seven. Those were all movies and or books that had incredible endings and mind-boggling twists, so I was really interested to see what all the hype was about. And while this was an awesome book, I think that's all there was. There was just so much hype on Gone Girl, and I was slightly disappointed. It's your standard wife goes missing, who's to blame, but the husband story. The husband's obviously to blame, and that's basically the premise of the novel. The last half of the book, the denouement, the finale, it fell flat for me. It seemed too rushed, but I don't know, maybe that was just me going in with really high expectations, really eager to see what they do on screen and how they translate it. I would really suggest reading the book first because I feel like the movie might be a little bit different, just the way that this has been written and explained. It seems like it would be cheesy on screen, you know, kind of like The Fault in Our Stars. What? Who said that? The next one is Sharp Objects. This is Jillian's debut. I'm calling her Jillian now. I feel like we're on terms. I mean, I'm praising the shit out of you, girl. Give me some credit. This is her first debut novel. It was the second one I read, about our protagonist, Camille Preaker, who is a reporter from Chicago who heads back to her crummy shithole of a hometown to report and cover a story of 2 young missing girls. You start to see Camille become really invested in this case and slightly obsessed. It also focuses on herself and her own demons personally. She just had a brief stint in the psychiatric hospital. And also her family, her complete psychotic mother, and her totally f***ed up half-sister. This book is dark. I mean, like, all of these books are dark. All 3 of these books are dark. Put on your night vision goggles because these books are pitch black in there. Right? But really, I'd have to say Dark Places was my favorite novel out of the three. It was the first book I read, so maybe I'm a little biased and I kind of have like a warm, snuggly feeling like thank you for exposing me to such a great author, and I just love you and some stuff like that. Let me break it down for you. So when Libby Day was just a small child, her mother and two sisters were brutally murdered before her eyes in what is now famously called the Satan's Sacrifice. Set the picture, blood everywhere, symbols on the wall, a very violent killing. But Libby survived. And here's the kicker. Her 15-year-old brother Ben Day did it. Or so she says. These are mystery novels. This is a whodunit. If you knew that that's what actually happened, there wouldn't be a story. So Ben is sent off to jail, and Libby lives freely off of book deals and people sending her money. This poor young girl who was subjected to such a tragic event. Fast forward 25 years, Libby is no longer young and adorable and pitied upon. She actually really hasn't grown up at all, but now she's bitter and selfish, and her money's gone because frankly, nobody cares about the case anymore. Then she's contacted by the Kill Club, a group of people obsessed with notorious violent crime, especially the Satan Sacrifice. But they believe that Ben is innocent, and they promise to generously reimburse Libby if she helps them discover new evidence that would lead to Ben's freedom and ultimately serve justice to the actual killer. This is where I wrote juicy. And it's actually also being made into a movie as well. It stars Charlize Theron and Chloe Grace Moretz, which if you read this book and you realize the character she's playing, I'm gonna have huge respect for that girl if she can portray this character as awful as this character is. So that was a summary of all three books, and hopefully that I didn't get too intense with it. And quickly, another thing that I really liked about them, I'm running out of time on my camera, is they were written in first person. And first person, typically, you know, you get into the person's head, you know what they're seeing, you know what they're feeling, you know what they're thinking, and what they see and think and say is the truth, because you can see that and no one else can, so you're like, I'm in on this with the character. But no, that's not it at all. Throughout all of these novels, everything that a person says, thinks, or does, it turns out to be a lie. And it's like, she messes with you, you know? She gets in your head, and ultimately you're the one who's been tricked, and you're the one who's been fooled, and once you get and you realize that you've been fooled, it's kind of fun. It's like it's a game. It's a game for everyone. It's a fun murder game. Everyone can play. And I just thought, I've never seen that before. I've never seen that when you're placed in someone's mind and you're seeing their secrets, and it turns out that they've been lying to you, the reader, and it's mind-blowing and flabbergasting. The vocabulary, the dialogue, it's not that elaborate, it's nothing like that, it's just the execution and the way it made you feel, and the fact that you yourself could be tricked. I thought that was awesome. It's like you're driving down the road, maybe you're giving someone you don't really know a ride home. Not a hitchhiker, like your friend, a new friend, and you're like, hey, I'll drive you home, no worries. You're driving, you're like, oh, blah, 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 how you doing, we're doing. They're going in there, they're like, turn left there. You know, like you're driving around and you're talking to them and suddenly they get caught up and you're like, oh no, turn left there, that's where I live. And you do this huge turn, and that's what I think that pretty much sums up the book. There's a lot of analogies in this explanation. That about wraps it up with my favorites. I'm feeling pretty hyped and buzzed right now off of my own excitement. Hopefully you can take something from this, either that I am a psychotic person or that the characters in these novels are psychotic people and that you should read it because maybe I've made you want to read them or watch the shows or listen to the music or buy these products, because isn't that what favorite videos are for? I'm sorry, I'm yammering because I'm just really excited. I want to reread them now. I read these in a week. Enough said, Gillian Flynn. Can someone like tell Gillian Flynn to tweet me? That'd be fun. Gillian Flynn, please tweet me. Or you guys, you watching, you can tweet me. This is my Twitter and my Instagram, which will also be linked down below, along with all my other social media that you can feel free to follow me on. Thanks for watching. I'm sorry I got really excited. I hope I didn't leave anything out. Never watched The Tourist. Awful movie. Awful movie. I can't believe that's how it ended. Like, I still can't. Hey guys, so I was just getting into bed, but I realized I forgot the most important part of the video, where I get on my knees and ask for your money. If you didn't know, I'm going on tour, and I will link the Indiegogo page down below. If you really want to donate, that'd be great. I mean, I would love you either way. You're beautiful. I'm gonna link Sophie. She is a lovely viewer. She donated $100 just out of the kindness of her heart. And like that just got me, man. Like you guys are awesome. So I'm gonna link all her stuff down below, so you should definitely go follow her. If you're as kind as Sophie and you're willing to donate, please do so. Feel free. And also leave me all your social media links in the message. I think you can input a message in the payment and stuff, and I will link it down below in next videos to come. But I'm really excited for this tour. It starts on July 26th to August 3rd. So if you're in the BC Alberta area, I'll let you know the show dates and you can come out if you feel like you want to. Okay, my shoulder is really killing me, and good night. Thank you. Bye.